Hi guys, welcome to another installment of OCK Draws. Today we're going to be learning how to draw a lion from reference. As you can see, I've got Pinterest open with my Procreate app and I've already drawn out a perspective box in which I'm going to do the skull of the lion itself. The reason why I'm drawing a skull first is because I want it to be part of the design element at the end. But I also think if you created the skull nicely and you build the face of the lion over that, it's going to be much more proportionally correct. So it's a lot of fun creating this. You can see I'm just doing the SketchUp work. Don't be afraid to shape and move anything. The liquefy feature is fantastic, and I think just using the lasso tool as well is also quite easy and straightforward. If something's not in the right place, just shift it around. You don't have to bother erasing it or anything like that. As you can see here, I'm building up the tonal value of the skull itself. I want it to look quite realistic, but not completely realistic. It's just an exercise in fun, actually. But making something look realistic is sometimes quite a bit of a challenge. The joy of having a dual view feature on the iPad like this and being able to, look at your reference directly and up close means that you can improve your workflow quite a lot by selecting multiple different references that you can continuously cycle through and look at. As you can see, we're starting to get lots more detail into the skull itself and the bone texture as well. Here you can see I'm adding the final layer to the skull, the bone texture and detail, just giving the impression of the sutures, the deep shadow of the jaw behind the skull itself, giving it a bit more three-dimensionality and pop, so to speak. And you can also see I'm changing the tonality of the teeth, giving that white of the enamel sort of a different look in comparison with the bone being something that appears sort of darker and rougher. And now I'm going to play around with a little bit of chromatic aberration. I think it looks super cool and it's a really nice retro effect and it's a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to use it all in the end, but let's see. At this stage, I'm also sketching out the form of the face now, all the wrinkles and the snarling maw of the lion. Once again, also using liquefy tool just to push it around, push it about until it looks like it's in the right place, and giving it a nice fierce look. And you can see I'm moving through different references all the time just to make sure that I've got everything kind of figured out from that perspective. Here I'm adding the mane. This is where it starts looking a little more semi-realistic because it's just basic fur structure that I'm drawing. I'm not really going into crazy depth here. I will be going into a lot more detail on the fur texture too. I want to give it a semi-realistic appearance, so you want to have the lion with the appearance of scruffy fur around his face. And just filling this piece, and I've got a dark layer to work on top of, and I'm going to work from dark to light, so build up all of the color and texture from the darkest hue to what I think would be the lightest. Some people like working the other way around. I think knowing how to do both is handy because it gives you a different way to approach a project. Here I am building up the first layer on the fur, giving it that texture. I'm also going to be working with multiple different colors, sort of to give the color life. I mean, you can clearly see in the photo on Pinterest, the lion's face isn't one solid color. There's black, there's brown, there's white. There's a whole bunch of different stuff there that you have to take into consideration if you want to give it a real lifelike feel. I mean, you can see eyes deeply circled in black, and then they've got these white patches underneath them. The nose and the mouth area also has a lot of white in that space. Oh, here I'm just clearing out the teeth so we can see where the teeth are. And I'm giving that scruffy white beard a bit of a finish there. I'm using a lot of smudge and pen tool together just to give it that furry feel. And yeah, you can now see, like I said before, I'm adding the lighter brown colors to bring in the lion's features more clearly. Like I said, layering it up over and over. Also, you can see the lines on the muzzle where the whiskers go. It's actually one thing I forgot in this project. I forgot to draw the whiskers at the end. But let's complete and finish. I think that's far better than fretting over little things. It can always be done better next time. This is, once again, just a fun practice session helping you guys learn while I learn and develop my own style and illustration ability. By the way, if you've made it this far, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I do appreciate every bit of assistance. It's what's going to help the channel build and grow. See how I'm using colors, different tones and different shades, lighter, darker, all sort of some in the similar tonal value, but just different colors basically to bring out the detail in the lion's fur, because it's actually not just one color. It's a bunch of different colors in the same creature, in the same fur. I mean, have you ever noticed men's beards are sometimes multicolored? I mean, mine's got a whole bunch of different colors in it. But yes, continuing with the fur. So here you can see me tweaking and adjusting. I wasn't happy with the color itself, but playing with the settings, I can change it up and give it a more vivid appearance, which was perfect. Just a bit of hue and saturation and a bit of brightness made all the difference. It looks quite nice now, I think. Then I'm busy now working on the detail of the inside of the mouth, creating the shape of the gums around the teeth, and the roll of that tongue in the mouth as well. Also, you can see I'm just shifting things to make sure the eyes are in the right place too. Now, just to kind of finalize it, I'm going to add a few details around the structure, just doing some line work, making that comic book feel. Add in, as you can see, I've lightened it so I can just see what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, and I'll darken it up again later once I've done with all the line work. Now, one thing I've got to note is I'm just using Procreate standard brushes at the moment, and I haven't really messed about with them too much. What I've also realized is that, if you get good quality, well designed Procreate brushes, it can make a massive difference with your artworks. Some of the new pieces I'm creating now after this one has a marked difference in their quality, simply because I've gone out, did a bit of research, and looked for some brushes. You can buy them, you can get them for free, but if you don't want to figure out how to make them, you don't have to. You can just get them. There's plenty of resources. Well, there you have it. The lion is pretty much done, but now I want to do the crown. So I'm going to really take advantage of the geometry function that you can use in Procreate by creating those straight lines and circles and all of that to create a three-dimensional looking crown. Just working out the straight line structure of where all the points in the crown is going to be using my blue lines, then lightening that, and then on top of that drawing out what the crown would look like if it was made of straight lines. And then once again after that, I'm going to go over it, putting some curves in it to just give it that kind of cartoony crown look. But I really like it. I think there's a good amount of three-dimensionality to it. And of course, after this, do the black line work and finish it with the golden color. Oh, it's not going to have black line work. It's just going to be a straight up gold color palette that I'm using. As you can see, once again, the usefulness of Procreate. You can look up a tutorial, pick it up, and have it in your artwork, not even needing to work through the tutorial beforehand. With your artwork, if you're not sure what to do, find out how to do it and have it next to you. Have it there as a reference, as you can see, using rough brush strokes up and down, and there you go. And I've got a relatively passable gold effect without much hassle. Granted, this process has been massively sped up for your viewing entertainment, but you can clearly see that it's actually a lot easier to create something nowadays than you think, considering you can have the reference nearby. Also, always remember to keep the resource on a separate layer. Once you've made the crown, put it on another layer because you might need it for another bit. I'm annoyed I didn't put a dark line at the bottom of the crown just to separate it a little bit. It's the only thing in this image that kind of looks a little bit not exactly right to me. I don't know. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. I don't know what you guys think. Here I am busy setting it up so that I can... Oh, I've also sort of tweaked and altered the crown a little bit for the secondary element. I distracted myself there for a second. Here I'm busy setting myself up so that I can do a step repeat pattern. I saw one of those tutorials in TikTok where you switch on all of your magnetics and snapping, and in doing so you can create a repeating pattern, which I think looks quite nifty. And I played with it a little bit, using the skulls and the lion and the crown to create this cool sort of step and repeat pattern. I don't know if you guys like it. I think it's quite awesome. I did a few different versions and types, and I figured that would be a great way to sort of differentiate it and do sort of 3 different artworks with regards to this piece. So there are 3 different versions. They will be available in store. I'm going to set up an ArtStation store pretty much as we speak. So if you guys want to support the channel by purchasing a print, that would be fantastic. Other than that, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys really enjoyed this and had a lot of fun learning and watching. Check it out. Once again, thanks a lot, everyone. I'll see you next time.